You are listening to Whispers in the Pines. In April of 2014, two young women traveled to Panama for what was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. Their names were Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. They were 21 and 22 years old, best friends from the Netherlands, smart, responsible, excited to explore the world. They arrived in the small town of Boquete, nestled near the mountains and jungle trails of western Panama. It was beautiful, peaceful, safe, according to locals. On April 1st, 2014, they decided to hike a popular trail called the Pianista Trail. It wasn't considered dangerous. Many tourists walked it. The trail was said to take just a few hours. They left their host family's house late that morning. They wore light clothes, shorts, tank tops, small backpack, one water bottle. They were not dressed for survival. At around 1 p.m., they reached the top of the trail. Photos recovered later showed them smiling, relaxed, nothing unusual. And then, something changed, because shortly after 4 p.m., one of their phones dialed the emergency number. No explanation, no text message, just an attempt to call for help. The call didn't connect. Over the next several days, their phones would attempt emergency calls repeatedly, sometimes just once per day, sometimes multiple times, mostly from Kris's iPhone, occasionally from Lisanne's Samsung. Signal strength was low. Calls failed. What's chilling is the pattern. The phones weren't used randomly. They were turned on briefly. Emergency number dialed, then turned off to preserve battery. Whoever had the phones was trying to survive. By April 6th, something strange happened. Lisanne's phone was powered on, but the wrong PIN was entered. Not once, multiple times. After that day, her phone was never successfully unlocked again. On April 11th, Kris's iPhone was turned on for the final time. It stayed on for over an hour. No calls were made. Then it shut off forever. Weeks passed. Search teams scoured the jungle. Helicopters flew overhead. Volunteers combed the area. Nothing. Then, nearly 2 months later, a local woman found a backpack along a riverbank. It belonged to Kris and Lisanne. Inside the backpack, 2 phones, a camera, sunglasses, cash, passports. Everything dry, everything intact. It didn't look like it had been exposed to weeks of jungle rain. And then investigators examined the camera. The photos began normally. Smiling selfies, scenic views, harmless tourist pictures. But then there was a gap. After April 1st, nothing. Until April 8th, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. that morning, over 90 photographs were taken, in complete darkness. Most of them were almost entirely black. Some showed strange details, a close-up of rocks, plastic bags tied to branches, what appears to be toilet paper scattered on the ground. One image seems to show the back of Kris's head. Her hair looks strange, possibly matted, possibly something else. No faces, no visible threats, just darkness. Why would someone take 90 photos in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the night? Some theories say they were using the camera flash as a light signal. Others believe they were trying to see something in the dark, or someone. Months later, small remains were found scattered along the river. A boot containing Lisanne's foot, fragments of bone, part of a pelvis believed to belong to Kris. Some bones appeared unusually clean, almost bleached. Authorities eventually concluded that the girls likely got lost after continuing beyond the summit of the trail. The Pianista Trail, while safe up to the viewpoint, becomes much more dangerous if you keep walking. Dense jungle, ravines, Fast-moving rivers. They may have fallen. They may have been injured. They may have tried to follow the river downstream to find help. But there are questions that remain unanswered. Why were the emergency calls so delayed after the final daylight photos? Why did Lisanne's phone PIN suddenly fail? How did the backpack remain in such clean condition? And what exactly was happening during those night photos? There was no confirmed evidence of foul play, but there was also no clear explanation that satisfied everyone. The jungle keeps its secrets. Today, the case of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon remains one of the most disturbing wilderness disappearances of the modern era. Two experienced young travelers, a short daytime hike, a trail considered safe, and a series of night photographs that feel like they belong in a horror film. If you were lost in the jungle, phone battery dying, pitch black around you, no idea which direction leads home, what would you do? And would anyone ever know what really happened?